guys, welcome to another exciting episode of the Stash Report from the Stash Project. Today is the 18th of December, 2015, week before Christmas. And as it happens, we have some Christmas presents you can buy yourself. First up, quick couple of kit announcements as I shake the bejesus out of my computer stand. The computer stand is an old sewing table. I mean, literally like an old sewing table. It's like wrought iron with a wood deck on it, and it needs to be propped up on one side. I thought maybe I knocked the prop off. Nope, just wobbled it. At any rate, these are February announcements. Hasegawa is following along with their Egg Girls microbus Samba van they did earlier in the, I guess, late fall, that would be, with a Type 2 cargo van. Again, the standard Hasegawa 1967 Volkswagen Type 2 cargo van. That kit was just reissued here, last month? It's set to be reissued this month, I should say. At any rate, they're going to be doing a new set of the Egg Girls decals for it. That'll be the only difference between it and the regular, standard stock version that they always carry in the catalog. This will be a Happy Valentine's Day themed Egg Girls for February. Also, Aoshima has announced 3 sets of wheels that they'll be running in February, and they are the Volk Racing TE37s painted in white, the Volk Racing CE28Ns painted in titanium silver, and the Racing Heart Type CRs painted in gunmetal. Those are all 19-inch wheels. They were just released this year some point. I don't want to sit here and actually go paging through the book here, but it was spring or so. It hasn't been that long since they were just reissued, and so they're going to get run some more out. And that brings us to, I guess, this month's releases. We have a couple of actual honest, at least one actual, no, there's 2. A couple of honest to God new toolkits. That's right. Finally, December has brought out some new toolkits. Also, a few new kits and of the usual plethora of reissues. Trying to think here if there's anything else up front. Studio 27 has announced some late December decals will probably be beginning of January. There is a FINA-sponsored 1996 British Touring Championship car set coming out. Again, this has the same problem with the Belgian Pro car we talked about last week or the week before, where the car has a spoiler and a different front bumper and like intake area. And the only way to get that is to buy it through, right now, Decal Pool out of Hong Kong. And, of course, they aren't selling it separately. It only comes with yet another set of decals. So, hopefully Studio 27 has some sort of resolution to that planned, like a little 1996 upgrade kit that has a spoiler and the front bumper in it. Otherwise, these decals, again, are primarily kind of useless unless you just don't care and don't want the correct parts and wing on it, which to me is pointless. So, and they're also going to be doing a couple more decal sets for the Lancia rally cars from Hasegawa. I think there's 1 or 2 for the Stratos and another one for the 037. So that brings us to the kit issues of this month. We'll start here on the domestic side of things because there are a few of those. And from Revell so far, and I say so far because what I understand, the NASCAR Snap-Tie kits are literally right around the corner. There's a good chance that depending on how the shipping was done and, the traffic flow of UPS in your area, they may be in your Revell preferred provider at this moment. Obviously, anything shipping right now in the week before Christmas is very, very hectic for the Postal Service, UPS, FedEx, DHL, and everybody. So there's a chance that some places may have them, some places don't. Around here for us, nobody had them, so I'm not running with the idea that they're out this week. We'll cover them next week when they're actually out. But the Porsche 918 Spyder in the Revell USA Rebox is out. Obviously, this is a sealed box of it, stolen eBay photo. That's what it is. And, just want to show what the box art looks like. This is the same kit that Revell of Germany, of course, did at the end of the year. Nothing about this is any different. Actually, I think they didn't take this car directly from the Revell of Germany box art itself, But it looks like somebody in Europe prepared it because it's got EU, a European Union plate on it. It doesn't have like a California plate. I want to say that the decal set from Revell of Germany included a California decal. I mean, or something United States wise. I know the i8, the BMW did have a U.S. decal included with it. Well, of course, that one's not being reboxed anyway. But I don't think there's really going to be anything different here. Usually, the only difference we see in a reboxed Revell of Germany kit versus the actual Revell of Germany kit itself is the decal sheet having a U.S. license plate added to it, and perhaps some of the European plates deleted from it. But it is what it is in that sense. I'm trying to think. There's somebody building one of these on YouTube right now, and I can't think who it is. It's there and it's gone, but they're doing a sort of a step-by-step build of it. Plastic Model Channel, maybe. I hate giving out the wrong name if it's not that. But go over to Revell 2, folks. It's been a long day. I had a 5-hour-long job interview this morning. It's round 2, and they have 5 of their reissues out already this month. Over on the MPC side of things, they have reissued the 1967 Dodge Charger in the 1970s The Great Street Machines box art. You can only build this the way it's shown on the box art at this point. If you want a factory stock 67 Charger, of course, Revell offers a fine example of that vehicle. This can only be built sort of as the street machine here. You've got retooled 5-spoke mags, pad-printed Polyglass GT F6015s on the front, cheater slicks out back, which appear to be Mickey Thompson's. Now, if anybody goes out and buys this, and it doesn't have pad-printed cheater slicks, I don't want to hear about it later, saying, well, you said pad-printed. I said the front tires are pad-printed. That's anything about the back tires. They are white-lettered here, but they are not saying anything about it in the stat sheet of the model itself about those back being pad-printed. So if they're not, I don't want to hear about it. If they are, well, hey, you get a bonus. They're reproducing the decals from the 1970s. Box art, which looks like a great big Dodge logo on one side, because I believe the model in the foreground doesn't actually have the side stripe or the Dodge logo on it, but it doesn't look like it's a very complex decal sheet. And then, of course, you get in the box art here. The other MPC kit is the Soapy Sales Dodge Challenger Funny Car. You are getting pad-printed drag slicks in this one, as well as the choice of open or closed parachutes, a reprint of the decal sheet, and a sort of vintage box art. Looks very much like the original box art. I'm not exactly sure how old this kit is. Of course, it's MPC, so it has to be prior to 1989. This was released as just a blank Challenger Funny Car by AMT underneath the Model King line. I did not actually realize that. The front grille looks to be different between the two because the front grille is basically blank and is just a decal itself for the whole front end. So that's why this appears to be like a 1970s Challenger, and the one that Model King did was like a 73 Challenger. So the whole front headlight grille assembly area is all decal, so that's how you get away with it. The changes that aren't a change. Over on the AMT side of things, they've reissued the 1950 Ford convertible. This is a 3-in-1. This has been backdated to the second release of the kit, which would be, I believe, late 60s. They've retooled the gasser front suspension, expanded the decal sheet, and you get this, what they call the silent box art, where on the actual box cover, there's nothing about the kit, and then all the information and whatnot is on the side panels and the end caps. They've reissued the Dodge. Is it a Dodge? Why did I just say Dodge? Like this is an actual thing. They reissued the Dioria custom pickup truck. They retooled the bubble window bed cover that had been lost for quite a while. Also includes the roof panels for the other bed topper. Comes with smoke tinted windows as an option. You get pad printed Firestones with pinstripes. expanded decals with wood grain decals for the first time. So if you want to build the actual real Dioris show truck rather than some of the variations that have been done with this kit since then, you can. And also, of course, you're getting a sort of vintage box art. And last but not least, if we could page Ken of the Show Car Garage to the white courtesy phone. That's Ken of the Show Car Garage to the white courtesy phone. Thank you. Your flameout has arrived. Alrighty, folks, just what you always wanted, a reissue of the Flameout Show Rod. This is going to be molded in Firebomb Red, or 1 out of every 12 in a case will be molded in 4-alarm translucent metallic red. You're going to get pad-printed gumball tires, expanded decals. They're saying it's 2 times larger than the original decal sheet. You get a die-cut, not die-cast, or die-cut display box base with a backdrop. And, of course, you get the fine vintage box art here. By the way, Ken, don't know if you're going to be interested in it or not, but AMT has announced through some early distribution channels that they will be reissuing the Little Gasser Show Rod. That would be the one that's sort of a dual-axle gasoline oil tanker style thing sometime in the first half of 2016. No more specific than that right now, but, if you're interested in that, it's out there. Ken, you can go back to doing whatever you're doing. Good friend of mine, Ken, over at the Show Rod Garage. I assume most of you are subscribed to him. If you're not, go check him out. Has been very, very anxiously awaiting this kit. He happened to mention in passing that he really wanted to find one of the original kits, and it was right around the same time I found out that they're going to be reissuing it. So he's been on tenterhooks out there in Central PA waiting on this one to come in. So there it is, and that takes care of the domestic stuff. We go over onto the shores of Japan, and here are our 2 brand new tool kits. One, the Honda McLaren 1/20th scale MP330 mid-season 2015 F1 car. Don't know anything about F1 cars. Don't know anything about F1 car drivers. The only thing I can tell you about this kit is what I read out of the information package on the instructions, which was Ebro, God bless him, does machine translations of Japanese into English. Nobody goes back and proofreads it, so it's pretty rough. But I get the idea that McLaren's Honda program sucks. They've basically got like a 5th place finish in 2015. Basically, that's the highest they've finished, but they're really looking forward to 2016. That's the gist I got. This is, of course, the most recent F1 car that's been put out since Tamiya did the Red Bull Renault car. This is a curbside. I've sort of tried to do some digging in Hobby Search, because Hobby Search will give you all the instructions on so many kits, to see whether or not that was a standardized form of operation. And the Red Bull kit was also a curbside. It's the same thing that this has, where it sort of has a transmission transaxle that's exposed, but there's no actual real engine compartment itself. I guess because these things are all encased in plastic like a real modern car's engine is anyway. If you go back prior to that, a lot of these 120 scale F1 kits did have full engines. So it's priced in line with the Tamiya Red Bull kit, which was right around $40. If you're interested in it, there you go. Then the early season one will be out sometime, in like February or something like that. So that one's out. The other brand new toolkit is the Tamiya Mazda Roadster, aka Mazda MX-5, for anybody outside of Japan. This looks to be a really, really nice kit. I've seen some actual pictures of the contents rather than just sort of looking at the photos that Hobby Search provides. They've done a real nice job of sort of making the engine insert that goes into the bottom. Now, this is a curbside, so there's no top of an engine, the hood doesn't open or anything else like that. But there is a engine insert that goes on the bottom that represents the bottom of the engine. They molded that separately from the chassis, as well as separately from the suspension components, or most of the suspension components. So if you really did want to put a engine into this, swap a Corvette motor into it or something like that, you could. Although I think in the spirit of what Mazda tried to do with this car, in the sense that they've reduced a lot of the weight, it's 100 kilograms lighter than the first-gen car itself, actually, not even just the last-gen car. And in that it has a smaller engine in it, but it's got a perfect 50-50 weight ratio. Putting some big, heavy cast-iron block up front, or aluminum block even, is going to, would throw the handling balance all out of whack, make a great drag car, but it's not going to make a great handling car necessarily. At any rate, it's curbside. It looks really good. Really, really crisp detail on the chassis. You don't get an engine, but boy, they do a lot to make up for it with the chassis. The wheels are not chromed in this, which is sort of a little bit different thing because apparently depending on what market you get the car in, the wheels are different colors. You can build this, as far as the decals and the parts contained in it, you can build it as a JDM right-hand drive Mazda Roadster. You can also build it as a North American spec, a export spec like Asia export, as well as a UK export spec, with decals to support all four of those, as well as the parts to support the left-hand drive and the right-hand drive, as well as, of course, there's the driver figurine. There's a young lady who comes with this kit. She is molded, by the way, in right-hand and left-hand drive, too, so it's not even like, if you built the American car, you can't use the young Asian lady who comes with this. She apparently is modeled after a real Tamiya employee. The Toyota AA, the male driver figure, was not modeled after anybody specifically, but apparently she's modeled after a long-time Tamiya employee who got one of these cars right when they came out. Overall, it's a $26 kit in Japan. It's going to have a $50 shelf price here through, Tamiya USA and your local hobby shop. So, of course, Hobby Link Japan, Hobby Search are going to be your methods of getting this kit. The original Miata from Tamiya was a curbside. The NB, the second gen that Aoshima did, was a curbside. The NC, the last generation Miata that Fujimi did, has sort of a top of an engine insert that went into it. But the only full detail Miata kit that's ever produced is the Revell 125th scale kit of the first gen Miata. So it's not out of the realm of reason that this is a curbside. The reason why we're sort of nailing the curbside point a little bit is because the internet, and namely one stupid forum, is in paroxysms of stupidity over the fact that the kit is curbside. So far, somebody's like, well, they don't make real full detail kits anymore because, ever since that half-engine GTR came out, they don't do it. Okay, first of all, the GTR, yes, it has a fiasco of an engine. Nobody ever denied that. It's a mess. It was, you can get all three companies, Fujimi, Aoshima, and Tamiya, all did, 2007 to now GTRs. And all of them, in one variation or another, include engines with those kits. Tamiya's was the blob molded into the inside of the, body itself, and then you built a top around it. And, of course, Aoshima's and Fujimi's are both sort of engine inserts rather than being like a full engine. None of them have transmissions attached or anything else like that. There's also the Aston Martin DBS that's a weird half-y engine blocky thing that's built into the front fender, inner fender wells that you build an engine around, but that's more passable because of the way the whole kit assembles around it. But to say that they haven't done any full detail kits, since the Tamiya LaFerrari came out like a year and a half, almost 2 years ago, let's see, we've had the Nissan, the Nissan Skyline 2000 GTR Street Custom. It's a reissue of an old kit, but it's a new kit as far as what they were considering their stock number. You have the Nissan Skyline R32 GTR Nismo Custom. Yes, it's a reissue with some new parts, but it's a completely new kit. You have the Mercedes-Benz 300 SL. You have the reissue of the Toyota Land Cruiser and the Land Cruiser Sports options. You have the reissues of the Tamiya, I keep saying Tamiya, these are all Tamiya kits. The reissue of the Alfa Romeo DTM cars and the Jägermeister and the Alfa Corsa, versions, as well as the Honda S600, which was, again, a slightly modified kit, but also a new kit. The Mercedes-Benz 300 SL, a completely new tool. All of those kits have had engines in them, full engines in them. Not inserts, full engines. You can pull them up, put them in something else. The only two automotive releases that Tamiya has done in the last 2 years that don't have engines in them are the Toyota AA and this Miata. Sorry if nothing that Tamiya does is of your interest, to pay attention enough to know. But to go on the internet and say stupid bull like that is just... It drives me crazy. It's again, why we do this program, because you people are effing idiots. Well, not you people watch the show every week. You're all brilliant because you listen to me. But no, It's just that sort of silly stupidity. Because somebody also went off a tangent about the kit being too expensive for being a curbside, and they want an engine, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The thing about this Mazda Miata MX-5 Roadster is, nobody calls it a Miata anymore, my apologies, is the fact that in Japan, it has a different engine than it does outside of Japan. It has like a 1.8 liter four-banger in Japan, it has a 2 liter four-banger outside of Japan. And while those two things would probably share the same block and most of the same parts, they would have different top ends to them. I've seen pictures, and there's slightly enough difference that you'd have to make different parts for it. Plus, because the kit is offered right-hand drive and left-hand drive, you would then have to make all of the duplicate engine component parts. You know, the master brake cylinder, and the washer reservoir, and the battery, and all the things that need to be swapped side to side, depending on what market the car is sold into. Go look at any Tamiya kit or any other foreign market kit that has both left and right-hand drives, and you'll notice that you get like a spare set of batteries and all the upper engine components, because how things are, done with, obviously the master cylinder can't be on the right side of a U.S. car. The brake pedal isn't over there. So to do all of those things, complete two separate engine tops, and all of the engine, you have to an engine bay itself, as well as the components that would have to swap sides depending on what left-hand, right-hand drive you chose in a $26 model kit. It's just not feasible, folks. It just isn't. So now, what are you talking about? Another $10 or so in tooling costs, retail to you, $10 worth of tooling costs to do all that? You really want to pay $37 or so and then have a shelf price of like $59, $62 for a Miata kit because you insist there be a full detailed 2.0 liter four-cylinder engine in the thing? I like engines in model kits, don't get me wrong. I love engines in model kits. Frustrates me that a lot of things are curbside to a certain extent. But that, I'm sorry, is taking it to an nth degree of extreme retardedness, no offense to the mentally challenged, that just I can't grasp without wanting to strangle the other side of the internet. It's stupid. The engine is not, like I said in the little mini kit review we just did, the engine's not actually, the bottom of the engine's not attached to the chassis. You could put an engine in there without any problems. You have to build an engine bay and all the rest of that stuff. But hey, you're a modeler, not a kit assembler. That's also another thing you always hear if you say something about a model kit not being right. You get told, well, you're just a kit assembler because a real modeler could fix it. Yeah, well, the real modeler paid $30 for this model kit and doesn't feel like fixing it because it should have been done for him because it was a $30 model kit. All right, so there's a few more things to talk about here before we let you go to bed, and that would be this kit here. This is technically new because it's never been done before. This is the Mazda RX-7 FD3S Type 4 patrol car. This is basically a reissue of the recently issued Type 4 Mazda RX-7 that was done for, out of the Shizuoka Hobby Show. So it came out over the summer. They basically just took some, police parts and put this into this kit. Had a look at the instructions for it to see if anything was actually newly tooled. All of the police parts are from like 2012, so they are newly tooled in that sense, but they're not specific to this car. You do get two sets of wheels with this kit, and I think at least 3 steering wheels, because they are very bad about decontenting their kits at Aoshima. So you always get some extra parts, and it's always interesting to see what those extra parts are. In this case, you get basically almost an entire complete interior out of one of the other RX-7's FD3S's. Plus, like I said, there's a steering wheel specific to the Type 4, and there's a steering wheel, I think, from the original RX-7 kit that they did, as well as maybe the Type 3. I don't know what the source parts are. I don't know enough about Aoshima's RX-7s to be able to pick them out to that nth degree, but you do get 2 entire sets of wheels with it. Only 1 set of tires, though. And then also, Aoshima, these are, again, considered new kits, even though they're reissues. These are the pre-painted Lamborghini Aventador kits. There are going to be 3 of these. This one in the Arencio Argos, the metallic orange or the pearl orange. This one in Blancos Canopus. This is the pearl white. Getting too far ahead of myself, talking over myself. The pearl white version, and then the export only, meaning you have to buy this through the United States or through Hong Kong or outside of Japan, basically. or you may be able to get it through Hobbylink Japan because, you know, they do that weird export-import thing over there. This is the Nero Nemesis matte black version. Like I said, this is a special kit just for the export market. Is not going to necessarily be sold in Japan unless maybe there was enough desire and demand for it because they're really responsive to their customers. And if people really wanted a matte black Aventador, they may release it in Japan. But this was designed originally only to be an export market car. So matte black, pearl white, pearl orange. They are otherwise just the regular, Aventador LP704s. Nothing new has been added. Nothing has been, these are going to be sort of quote-unquote decontented because they are the base Aventador kit. If you went and got the 50th Anniversario kit, you get some Roadster parts, you get some Aventador parts, you get all of the special, 50th Anniversario parts. But the Aventador being the base that all of the Roadster and 50th Anniversario are based out of, it's not going to carry those parts because they're just going to run the Aventador specific tooling. And as we always point out with Aoshima pre-paints, they pre-paint the entire model kit, not just the body the way the pre-painted Revell kits are. So the body's painted, the chassis painted, the interior's painted, all of like the black window trim and all that stuff is painted. Everything is already done for you. Basically, you just put it together. You, of course, have to deal with things like sprue attachment points and the mold lines in the body itself because they do not clean any of that stuff up before they send it out. They paint it on the runners, and you have to take it off and retouch paint and stuff like that. But if that doesn't bother you or, you think nobody will notice because you're just building a shelf model, then, more power to you, I guess. They're not bad kits. They're a bad option for just a, weekend build or something like that. Or if you, want something like that, but you don't feel like painting the 100 and some odd parts there are of it. So, it's an option out there. Know that they are about $5-7 more expensive than a regular kit because it's pre-painted. And that, ladies and gentlemen, I believe covers the week that was. Got some Hasegawa reissues that haven't come out yet. Some Aoshima, the new stuff out of the Tokyo Model and Hobby Show. There's 2 kits of those left, as well as a couple of reissues there. And then we still got the Jim Cushman Plymouth Duster short track car and the Volkswagen Shit Rocket. I mean, the Sirocco. That still have to come out around too. So there are a few things. Oh, and the NASCAR Snap-Pack kits. So there'll probably be some action here right before Christmas, getting most of, if not all of that back out again, because of course we will have our holidays here in the United States, and after New Year's, Japan will go on winter holiday. Japan also has a holiday next Wednesday, the 23rd, for their version of sort of a winter solstice type celebration. So we've got to get it out before the end of the year, or else it's going to sit there and cook for a little bit, so to speak. So we will be here Christmas for our regular Friday show at some point. Might not get out till Saturday or Sunday, but by golly, we're gonna get the kids to open their presents, get everybody settled down for the day, and then we're gonna run to the basement and shoot video for 20 minutes like we always do. So anyway, we'll see you guys on the other side.